Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I am making beef tips with a red wine sauce. Alright, let's get going. Okay, we're going to start out with a tablespoon of butter. And yes, I'm loud. Maybe a little more. So we're adding our butter. We want it all melted, and then we're going to add our mushrooms. And we're using about a half a pound to a pound of mushrooms. I just happen to have just regular white mushrooms that I washed, dried, and sliced. And we're just going to add that to our butter. And we're going to basically saute this for about 5 to 10 minutes. We want them slightly brown. And all we're going to do is just keep stirring this. It'll take a few minutes for all the mushrooms to soften, brown, just the way we want them. We're going to give these a gentle stir. Now when we are starting to get some browning on our mushrooms, as you can tell, this mushroom right here has got a little bit of nice, rich, creamy, golden brown. Now this is something that you don't want to rush. You don't want your mushrooms burnt, you just want them a nice golden brown. Okay, they're just now starting to color. Alright, we're going to turn the heat down to a medium, and we're going to add 1 onion. Doesn't have to be finely chopped, finely sliced, just 1 nice onion. Any flavor. You can do a red, a white, a Vidalia, a yellow. Let me turn that down a little more. And we're only going to cook with the onions in it for about 2 to 3 minutes, because all we're doing is trying to make the onions soft, and we're sweating them just a little bit. Alright, to this dish we're going to add 2 teaspoons of finely chopped garlic, and what I'm going to do is use a minced garlic and water. And we're just going to stir this in. You're only going to cook this for about 30 seconds because you just want the garlic to bloom. Give it that nice garlic flavor. And then you turn off the heat. Okay, from here, I'm going to take the mushrooms, garlic, onions, and pour it into a bowl. I'm going to try to get most of it off the bottom. If you don't get it all off, that's fine. Put that off to the side. You don't have to get all of the fond off the bottom. What we're going to do is, next we're going to do the beef. In a bowl, we're going to put 2 large teaspoons of flour. This is all-purpose flour. Maybe 3. I might not have enough, so we'll see. I'm going to add approximately a pound of beef. I've cut this into bite-sized chunks, kind of like you would make for stew meat. I just cut it down a little more. And we want about a pound. Maybe a little more. Alright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to toss this. You can add your salt, pepper to the flour and then mix it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add the pepper to the beef while it's cooking. I don't use salt in most of my recipes. Alright, so we have our pan that we cooked our mushrooms, onions, and garlic in. It's still warm. What I'm going to do is turn it on to a medium heat. And I'm going to add some olive oil. Actually, I'm using avocado oil. It's a little more heart healthy for me. And you just want enough on the bottom to help cook the beef or brown the beef. Okay, our oil is starting to shimmer or bubble, and it tells you that this is ready. Let's see if we can't get closer in here. Okay, you see how it's bubbling? This is perfect. So we're going to start adding our beef. We want the beef to brown on all sides. So we're just going to stir it. And at this point I'm going to take and I'm going to add pepper. Okay, at this point we are going to remove our beef. We're going to put it in just a bowl for right now. Alright, our pan is pretty dark there. So now we're going to add 1/3 of a cup of red wine. I'm using Merlot. And what we're going to do is deglaze the pan. I think I'm going to add just a few more splashes. And you'll notice that the bottom is starting to come up. And this is what you want. This is deglazing the pan. To our pan, we're going to add 2 cups of beef broth or beef stock. We're just going to keep stirring that in. We're going to add 2 teaspoons of, I'm using Better Than Bouillon, the roast beef. And we're just going to add this to our mixture here. Now we're going to let this simmer for about 5 minutes. Let it all incorporate. Get everything all nice and mixed up. And we're going to turn this to a medium low. To our mixture here, we're going to turn this down to low. We're going to add approximately 2 tablespoons of flour. You can use Wondera. And you want to sprinkle it all over and not just lump it in. I'll show you what it looks like. All we're going to do is gently mix it in. You can actually take a whisk and whisk it. Okay, now we're going to add something really interesting here. I don't know if many of you have heard of this, but we're adding some browning. We're just going to add a couple drops. That's it. There you go. And it just takes just a little bit, and it really adds a nice flavoring and seasoning to this. Your flour will dissolve. It just takes a little time. Now I'm putting it on a medium-low. Alright, to this mixture, we're going to add our mushrooms, onions, and garlic. We're going to stir that around. And to this mixture, we're adding our beef. We're going to let this simmer for approximately 15 to 20 minutes until done. Now you can serve this over rice, noodles, potatoes, just about anything you want. All I'm going to do is just stir this occasionally, and there you go. You're going to have delicious, hearty beef tips. I'm going to lower the temperature on this and cover it. And we're going to let this go for probably another 10 minutes. Okay, so our beef tips are done, and we're going to have them over homemade mashed potatoes. They're kind of a rustic, lumpy potato. But that's how we like it. There you have it. Beef tips in a Merlot red wine sauce. I hope you enjoy.
Tips in Merlot.
Almost forgot to taste test it. Alright, so let's see how it's going to be. Wow. The beef is extremely tender. Extremely tender. I used a chuck roast and cut it up into small chunks, and really tastes nice. And the homemade potatoes aren't bad either. Alright, we'll see you next time. Bye!